Welcome to the space, to the merchav. I'm Jessica Ivgi, and we are talking practical spirituality. I learn and I process and I serve. That's what I do here. So let's see what we can learn from parashat lecha with Abraham. So really, the story in the Bible starts from the point where um, we lecha just start walking, move. But really, I mean, move from where you were to where you're gonna go. But also, um, there's so much to the story even before that it's not written, and we just know it from the midrashim. So, the whole point where there were the statues, and he realized that there's truth, and he wanted to break it down. So he took and he broke the statues, and then he was thrown into the fire, and he got out alive without getting hurt, and all of that. Stories, all these stories, like the really juicy stories of his past, um, they're not brought into the Bible, and they're somewhere hidden. And only where he starts going to Israel and sitting there, that's where it's told about. So a thing that came into my mind is that when we meet a person, we never really know where he came, where what he's been through, really what he's been through, and he's been through so much. People are going through so much, and we only meet them at one point in their lives. And also, I want to say that when we see a really strong person, I mean, when we see him and he's a really strong person, most likely that he's been through fire. And when we see him, we just need to remember that he wasn't always that strong. He became strong through walking through fire. And that is something we could really learn from, that if we're not that strong right now, we could believe that we would be. I think that's inspiring. So, um, Abraham, when he was Abraham, you say it with the B of so when he was realizing the truth that he's growing in this place where there's no God, but there's a lot of gods and a lot of statues, and people were worshiping all kinds of stuff, that kind of culture. So he did not like it, and he saw the truth. The thing is, he was really speaking. He was speaking up, and we can see a lot of people, or sometimes ourselves, we speak up, and sometimes it's a really strong thing when we bring that kind of stuff into people's awareness. And sometimes we have a feeling like we're left alone, because even Avraham, it says that he was on one side of the world and everybody was on the other side. Ivri, like the Hebrew, it's called ever. That's like from the one side of the situation, of the perspective. So he was alone. And really, when a person is always speaking their truth, sometimes they might, feel left alone, or speaking alone, or just a really strong energy. Not everybody likes or could bear the strongness that comes with the truth, because the truth is a very strong energy. And the second, where the Bible brings his chesed, the good part, the nice part, is that's where the Bible starts, where he comes to the Holy Land and sits, and he opens like this big, and just brings people in, and he's really nice to people. So it's like he kind of switched, or at least went through phases in life where he was this really strong and hard talking person, into this, like, people grow and they develop, and they just become more calm throughout life after they've been through stuff. So we but really that's what he's known for. He's known for his chesed, with his being nice, with his niceness, and being really pleasant. But really, it didn't start there. It started way before. The thing is that it doesn't have to crash. You don't have to choose if to be like a really truthful and strong person or to be a really nice and easygoing person, because they really they could really go together. And a person could really trust himself, and people could really trust a person when he really has these both sides in us. When you see a person that is really hard and always has to tell the truth, you could understand that he's kind of protecting something. He's not like emotional stability. That's what I would say this thing is about. And when you see a person that is too soft, you can't trust that person. He's too easy to manipulate. He's too easy to move around. You have to have some of both, you know? And when you know you have this strong and truthful part in yourself, that's when you are, and you trust it, and you trust that you could use it when you're going to need it. That's when you feel eased enough to just be nice to people. You're not afraid people are going to come back to haunt you for that. You could trust the world when you have both. It's even it's like really cool. Like, I just to think about like a person who knows like he's a really good, I don't know, he learned karate, he learned like this I don't know, something really special. He knows how to fight. So these kind of people, they also learn self-control. They're not going around punching people because there is something really strong inside of them. They know that if they're going to ever need that part, they're going to use it. And that's why they could stay calm. And you could see on people if they trust themselves or not. And that enables us to trust them or not trust them. It's an energy, we could feel it. So really Abraham goes like through this transformation in his life from being very hard, strong to really nice and calm. And that's when he really sat in Israel. And Israel states to us, it represents the very stable place. Okay, so emotional stability is really what we're aiming for. Like he was aiming to get to Israel. He know how to be both. And also he knew he was going to have to fight the kings that were sitting then in Israel. So you're not supposed to let go of the strong part in you. You have to keep it. You need that for life. You do not want to be someone that's moved around or who can't get things for himself. So sometimes you're going to need that strong part. It's called the din. You're going to need that, okay? But, use it wisely. Just use it when you really need it. So what is the ideal even God, when he made us people, when he made Adam and Eve, he was talking to the angels, and they were telling him, don't make people, don't create them. They're gonna be bad, and they're gonna do bad in this world. And that's a very truthful point. That's a very strong point. Yeah, you can't argue with that, But he had to let go of that truthful part and just be kind and have chesed and sometimes it means to like shut your eyes and not see. Like every mom knows, you can't be running around your kid all day. You can't be screaming at him when he's not you're right. You're always going to be right, but stop. I mean, that's not how you raise kids. That's not how you behave to your spouse. Okay, you have to have that place of chesed in your heart where you just close your eyes. I didn't see that. I did not see that. You know, but you have the truthful energy. It comes from a very truthful place. So being able to hold these both things together is amazing, and it's very strong. So that's what we're aiming for in order to get emotional spirituality. Okay, so that's one thing. Something about a need for stability. When we need something, we might feel very ashamed of our needs. Like if a woman really needs her man to man up, it comes from need. And we're kind of going to be shy and ashamed to say, like, I need you to behave more nice to me. I need you to give me more attention. We don't want to say that. I mean, girls, we don't want to say that. But it's because people have made us think that having needs is a bad thing, when really a need exists in order for us to give it its answer so we could have spiritual stability. Let's, like, for example, if there's a kid and he did not get his needs, like maybe he was hungry, but maybe was hungry and wanted to go to sleep, but his mom would not let him eat. Okay, and he would have to he would go to sleep hungry and his needs were not met. Or let's say, I don't know, he needed a better coat for the winter, but he didn't have the money, and it was just lazy coat. I don't know. I'm just, throwing examples, and he didn't get his needs being covered well properly. And so that's a need unmet. And maybe we're in an environment where we couldn't say our needs, and maybe people made us feel bad talking about the fact that we need, we were a bargain on something. There's so many stories. We should not be ashamed of our needs. We have to be really okay with the fact that we have needs. It's not something to be ashamed of. I'm just looking what I wrote. A need is really, really, really coming out of a godly place. Meeting our needs is really meeting ourselves. A need is actually a way to show us how to get to the good place in ourselves. It's like being our own parent at some point. Like there comes a point where we just have to meet our needs. And the thing is that we can't really ask someone else to give it to us, because a lot of times we're gonna go for something that looks stable, like getting married just to have a house, yeah, to run from my family and get married with this person who looks like he's gonna give me my needs, or this really big two things in history were meant to be like this big, huge, and stable place, the Titanic and the Twin Towers. And I was just thinking about the fact that they both start with the T, and the T, it's like, it looks very stable, it's like, and he has this strong leg in the middle, and like, it's like he's stabling himself. I don't know, it just came to my thought like while I was learning it. I think it's cool. So a lot of times we're gonna look out for something that looks stable. It's gonna be like maybe a really, really good job, or maybe a really good relationship that seems stable. But as long as we don't find that stability inside ourselves, we are not gonna be able to be really and truthfully emotionally stable. That could only come from finding the inner stability, inner emotional stability. And that happens when you meet your needs, because your needs comes to show you where your soul is really from. The fact that you want stability only comes to show you that there is stability in this world. The truthful place is the stable place. And as long as you're not in that place, you're not in your truthful place. You should feel stable, emotionally stable. You deserve to be emotionally stable. That's where you came from. In the godly place, before you ever even come to this world, you were in a stable place. Because God is very stable. Thinking, I kind of went through whatever I wrote here. Okay, what do you do if there's no stability with the place where you at? Like, let's say this job is like moving you around, or they're not giving you the hours. Like every time is a different hour, and you just can't find this stable place because you can't do you can have a schedule with this kind of job or whatever. Sometimes you're going to need it because you have to, whatever, because you're working and you're learning and you need to, and it's okay for you at that time. But there comes a point in life where you want to feel stable. So if you're in a place where it does not give you that, like if it's maybe a relationship that's really, really toxic and really, really hectic, so you might want to, do your thinking, but maybe have to get up and move and leave that place. And sometimes leaving a place doesn't mean physically leaving it. Sometimes the place is actually a place in our mind. Oh, sorry, I think you just heard a sip. I just love black coffee in the morning. Sometimes leaving a place means you're gonna have to just get out of the state of mind. And like, let's say you're in a relationship and you're always expecting someone to meet your needs, but he doesn't do that. Sometimes it just comes to show you, I'm not saying you have to be with a really good person, not saying, but sometimes it just comes to show you that maybe it's worth a thought. Maybe you're just throwing your needs out and not meeting yourself, and you're always expecting someone else to make you happy. You can't do that. You have to be happy yourself, okay? So stop, get out of that place in your mind and just get yourself together and start expecting less from people, because they are, as long as you're resting your head on someone else, every move he makes gonna move your head and make you dizzy. You have to find your own place, and that happens by meeting your needs. Okay, so that's one thing. One last thing, I just want to talk about beauty and God. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, so Sarah is the first woman ever to be talking about with the word yofi, beauty, in the Bible. And Abraham really brings I'm talking truthful, godly beauty here. The beauty standards, okay? And I'm not talking what we know today as beauty, like if it's a size, if it's I don't want to even say what goes on today in the world, but we all know what beauty standard stands for, right? Standards. I don't know. I can't seem to get it out of my mouth yet. So Abraham comes and shows us like the truthful place, midat haemet, the din, and there's something really masculine about truthful that comes real strong, and there's something very feminine in beauty and being just gentle, like, and the man, like, he comes from above. It's like, be strong. I mean, and be truth. This is the truth. Tag. It's like giving to us like from above. Tag, and and the beauty is, it's like it comes up really nicely. It just it just rises up. It rises up like the sunrise. So there is truth, little sparks of truth spread through our life, and it is our duty to go through our life and realize these things and bring them back, these sparks and bring them back to my soul, to ourselves. And beauty is not always something you could really realize right away. That's why Abraham was like, it says that he suddenly, all of a sudden, just realized there's this beautiful woman that he's married for a very long time. Like, what's wrong? He never looked at her? Of course he did. But everything comes to show us something. And really, the second where he realizes how beautiful she is was actually when they got to Egypt. I mean, you were living in this beautiful place for a very long time, and then you came to Egypt. And that's where you find it. Yeah, because sometimes you're gonna find beauty in the very deepest, sleaziest, really bad places. And this comes to show us that, we're going to go through our life and feeling a lot of things, but there's so much beauty to be found in every place to being ourselves. And wherever you go, that's where Hashem wanted you to be. So be calm. It's okay. The truth does not, like, it's a very straight line thing. It's like it just goes like that. When you hear truth, it's like But in order for truth to be nice and be able to hear, like if someone wants to tell me something truth, if he's going to come strong, I won't be able to hear. Like, how do you say bikoret? I forgot. Bikoret, like, oh my God, I forgot. So when someone wants to tell me the truth, or wants me to see something, it's not nice, he's going to have to find the way to bring it to me, the way to serve it to me, so it will be able to sit on my mind and on my heart. And me too, I'm going to have to find the really nice words how to say it. And that is chesed. That is bringing the chesed part into the truth. And that is what beauty is. You need a lot of chesed and niceness to make the truth something that I'll be happy to hear. That I'm going to come to you when I want something truthful. I'm going to come to you. I have a lot of friends, and if there are people who always tell me the truth like that, there are points where I'm not going to want to talk to you. But sometimes there's this one friend, you know to go to them when you want the truth, but you also need empathy. You also need this chesed, to someone to look at you, not break you down while he brings you the truth. And that is beautiful. There's a lot of truth in the world. When it's not connected to the ground, it stays very high, very alone, very, like, there's not a lot of point in just having the truth all by yourself. You have to connect to people. Like, if it's ideologies, if it's like a lot of, I don't know, you could see people like screaming the truth, but really, you don't, okay, what do you want to do about it? What do you want to do about it? I don't know. So what are you going to do with all this truth? I'm just going to say it. Okay, well, I've got stuff to do. I want to connect. I don't want to. So that kind of truth stays by itself in the end, if it doesn't come down to earth. And there's also a lot of beauty in the world, but without the truth, some truth to hold on to, it's going to stay very low and shallow. And they actually want to meet. They actually want to meet, both of them. The truth wants to come down and meet the beauty. The beauty wants to rise up and meet the truth. And that is chesed. So in Egypt, they were dirty. They were looking for bad stuff. And they were looking for the beauty, the physical beauty, and the physical, just having fun. And, I don't want to say it here, I don't want to say it here, but they were looking for one thing, basically, sleaziness. And we go through that. Every girl wants the good looking guy, and every guy wants the really good looking girl, and that's okay. That's okay. The thing is, there comes a point where we kind of to realize that that's not all. When you want to connect to a person, when you want a truthful, godly, really good connection, you're going to look for the beauty that's in the connection. When you connect truth, when you find a godly part in the truth and the beauty, that a person is not only that you're looking for, like having like one night stands, for example. Everybody knows to say that, like I've heard guys say it, they feel really empty after that because there wasn't a point in truth in these nights. It was fun, it was like beautiful, but it was not truthful. So when you are able to find that person or that kind of connection where there is beauty but there's also truth, and it's a truthful beauty, standard God. that's when there is chesed in your life. So if we'll connect everything together, the way to get to emotional stability is meeting your needs. That's one thing. Second thing, the way to get the most beautiful connection in life and real beauty is when chesed and emet, when truth and being nice meets. And I hope I was helpful. I gained a lot out of this, and if you could share this with people who would gain anything out of this video, so please share. Thank you.